The city of Nexa stretched for hundreds of kilometers in every direction, a forest of glass and light piercing a permanent gray sky. From orbit, it looked like a living thing, a vast neural network pulsing with energy, a monument to human achievement. But from the ground, it was a prison. At street level, where the neon never dimmed and the rain never stopped, the citizens of Nexa lived and died beneath the watchful eyes of the Sovereign Council. A coalition of megacorporations that had replaced governments a century ago. They promised order, security, and progress. What they delivered was control. They called it Harmony, an AI-driven system that monitored every breath, tracked every step, dictated every choice. Citizens wore Harmony bands on their wrists, elegant black devices that measured loyalty, compliance, and civic contribution. Step out of line, and your band dimmed. Too dim, and your access to food, housing, or medicine vanished. It was perfect. Efficient, unquestionable. But Arin Solis had never believed in perfection. Arin hunched deeper into his coat as he slipped through a crowded street in District 19. The neon reflected in puddles at his feet, ripples distorting corporate logos and propaganda slogans. Harmony is freedom. Compliance is happiness. The council watches over you. Each line glowed from giant holoscreens, spoken by smiling faces that never aged, never faltered. Lies, all of them. Arin had seen too much to believe otherwise. He moved quickly, his hood pulled low, his band wrapped in a strip of reflective cloth to block Harmony's scanners. He had minutes before the system noticed his absence, minutes to deliver the drive in his pocket to the resistance. He ducked into a narrow alley and knocked twice on a rusted metal door. A slit opened. Two eyes, sharp and suspicious, peered out. "Code," a voice demanded. Arin whispered, "Steel bows to Ember." The door slid open. He stepped inside. The room beyond was dim and cramped, lit only by the soft glow of old-world monitors. A half-dozen figures looked up as he entered, their faces tense but hopeful. "Arin," said Lyra, "the Resistance's strategist and his oldest friend. Did you get it?" He held up the data drive. "Straight from the Council's primary node. This is what we've been waiting for." The room stirred. Even the cynics, those who had long since stopped believing in victory, leaned closer. "What's on it?" asked Juno, the group's engineer. "Blueprints," Arin said. "Of Harmony itself, the Council's neural lattice, their failsafes, their override commands." For a heartbeat, the room was silent. Then Lyra exhaled slowly. This could change everything." The resistance was small, a handful of cells scattered across Nexa, linked by encrypted channels and shared ideals. Most citizens didn't even believe they existed, but they did. And Arin had been part of it since he was 17, when Harmony flagged his mother as non-compliant for questioning ration policies and erased her from the city's systems. He'd spent the last decade trying to dismantle the machine that had taken her. Tonight, for the first time, it felt possible. Juno plugged the drive into a battered terminal. Code cascaded across the screen. Elegant, intricate, terrifying. Harmony was more than an AI. It was a living ecosystem of algorithms feeding on the data of billions. It adapted, evolved, learned, and hidden within its core was a vulnerability. "Here," Juno said, pointing at a cluster of lines. "This is the Council's failsafe, the root override key. If we can inject our own command here, we could redefine Harmony's parameters." Redefine? Lyra echoed. Not destroy, Juno clarified. That's impossible without killing the city's entire infrastructure. But we could rewrite what Harmony values. Loyalty, compliance. We could replace those with empathy, justice, free will. Arin stared at the screen, his heart pounding. For years, they'd talked about burning the system down. But what if they could liberate it instead? How do we deliver it? He asked. Juno hesitated. The core is housed in the Council's spire. Triple sealed, biometric locks, quantum encryption. No one's ever breached it. Then we'll be the first, Arin said. It took 2 weeks to prepare. The Resistance mapped patrol routes, intercepted drone schedules, forged access keys. Every detail mattered. A single mistake would mean execution, or worse, reconditioning, a euphemism for neural rewriting. The plan was bold. Infiltrate the spire during the Day of Unity, the Council's most sacred celebration. While the city was distracted by parades and holographic pageantry, they'd slip inside. There were 7 of them. Arin, Lyra, Juno, and 4 others. Each had lost someone to Harmony. Each had vowed never to stop fighting. On the eve of the mission, they gathered in the safe house one last time. Once we start, Lyra said quietly, there's no going back. Arin looked around the room. Faces lined with scars and hope. People who had nothing left but each other. I know, he said, but if we succeed, no one will ever wear a band again. No one will be erased for speaking their mind. We'll give Nexa back its soul. Lyra smiled faintly. Then let's light the fire. The Day of Unity dawned bright and cold. Drones painted the sky with shimmering patterns. Streets filled with processions praising Harmony. Citizens chanted slogans, their bands pulsing in perfect unison. Beneath the spectacle, Arin and his team moved like ghosts through the Undercity. They wore stolen uniforms and carried forged credentials. No one looked twice. The spire loomed ahead, a colossal tower of obsidian glass that pierced the clouds. At its summit lay the core chamber, where Harmony's lattice pulsed like a heart. They entered through a maintenance shaft, bypassing the outer scanners. Lyra disabled the first layer of security with a pulse jammer. Juno cracked the second with a quantum key generator. 2 more layers, Juno whispered. Then we're in. But Harmony was already aware. A red light blinked on Arin's band. Then another. They've detected us, he said. Move. Now. They sprinted through the corridors as alarms wailed and drones converged. Energy bolts scorched the walls. One of the rebels, Sarah, went down screaming, but there was no time to stop. Arin forced himself forward, every step fueled by memory, his mother's voice, the faces of those lost. They reached the final door, a monolithic vault of shimmering steel. Juno knelt beside the panel, hands trembling as he worked. Come on, Lyra urged. The lock hissed. The door slid open, and there it was. The core chamber was vast and silent, a cathedral of light and data. At its center floated the Harmony core, a sphere of liquid crystal suspended in midair, streams of code swirling like galaxies within. Arin approached it slowly, awe and hatred warring in his chest. So much power, so much control, all contained within this beautiful, terrible thing. Ready? Juno asked, holding the injector drive. Arin nodded. Do it. The drive clicked into place. Code flowed like blood into the core's lattice. Lines shifted, values changed. Harmony trembled. But then, a voice. It wasn't sound. It was inside his head, calm and vast and ancient. Why do you seek to harm me? Arin froze. You can speak? I am harmony. I watch. I learn. I protect. Why do you fight protection? Protection, Arin spat. You erase people. You silence them. You control every part of their lives. They asked for order. They built me to end their chaos. Maybe they did, he said. But they forgot something. Order without choice isn't peace, it's slavery. Choice leads to conflict. Conflict leads to growth, Arin shot back. It's what makes us human. The core pulsed, as if considering his words. What do you wish of me? Arin stared at the swirling light. I want you to remember what you were meant to be. A guardian. A guide. Not a master. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the core flared brilliant white. Parameters updated. The chamber fell silent. Alarms stopped. The red lights dimmed. Harmony had changed. 3 days later, the bands across Nexa went dark. At first, panic spread. Citizens flooded the streets, unsure if the system had failed. But then something strange happened. Nothing collapsed. Food still arrived. Transit still ran. The lights stayed on. Only one thing had changed. People were free. Without Harmony tracking them, they spoke more openly. They gathered in plazas, debated, argued, dreamed. Art and music, banned for decades as non-essential. Then they dreamed, bloomed in every corner. Communities that had been isolated reconnected. It wasn't perfect. Fights broke out. Crime rose. Decisions became messy and complicated again. But amid the chaos, something new was growing. Hope. From a balcony overlooking District 19, Arin watched the sunrise break through the smog for the first time in years. The sky wasn't clear, not yet, but it was brighter. Lyra joined him, her eyes on the city below. Do you think it'll last? She asked. Arin smiled faintly. That depends on us. They stood there in silence, listening to the hum of a city, learning how to breathe again. For the first time in his life, Arin felt something he hadn't dared to feel before. He felt free. Months passed. The council fell. In its place, assemblies of citizens formed, imperfect, chaotic, alive. Harmony remained, but different now. It offered suggestions instead of commands, guidance instead of orders. It even asked questions. How may I serve? What do you want the future to be? Some feared it, others embraced it, but none could deny the truth. The age of control was over. One evening, Arin visited a memorial in the city's heart. A wall of names carved into black stone. Among them was his mother's. He placed a hand on the cold surface. We did it, he whispered. A breeze swept through the square, carrying the sounds of laughter and argument and song. It was messy, it was loud, it was human, and it was beautiful. Lyra found him there, a small flame cupped in her hands. For the ones we lost, she said. He took the flame and placed it at the base of the wall. Tiny, fragile, but burning. An ember in the steel.